Caroline Leavitt, I hereby sentence you to jail for contempt of court. The room gasped. Cameras flashed. Reporters scrambled. But no one, not even the judge, could have anticipated what would happen next. Because within minutes, a single legal move would upend the judge's ruling, expose a buried scandal, and shift the power dynamic of the courtroom forever. This isn't just about defying a sentence. It's about dismantling corruption from the inside. And it all starts with a single name: Karoline Leavitt. The courtroom was frozen. Karoline Leavitt had just been sentenced to jail by a judge so convinced of his authority, he didn't even look up when he slammed the gavel. But before the bailiff could even take a step, JD Vance leaned forward, looked the judge in the eye, and calmly said 7 words that turned the courtroom upside down. You just made the biggest mistake of your career. What happened next? You'll see. Because what this judge didn't know was that Caroline and JD had been preparing for this exact moment, and they were about to reveal a piece of paper that would not only free her, but destroy everything he thought he controlled. The judge's voice had a condescending lilt as he barked, "Miss Leavitt, your defiance ends today. You are hereby sentenced to 30 days in jail for contempt of court." Gasps spread across the courtroom. Cameras clicked. Journalists scrambled. Caroline didn't blink. She turned to JD Vance, seated silently at the defense table, and in that moment of eye contact, everything changed. Judge Harlan Withers, known for his iron fist rulings, leaned back with smug satisfaction. But what he didn't see, what he was too arrogant to notice, was the calm calculation behind JD's steady gaze. JD rose. "Your Honor," he said, "before you instruct the bailiff, I'd like to enter something into the record." The judge scoffed, waving him off. "Denied." JD didn't stop. He slid a single sheet of paper across the table. "I strongly suggest you read this before you make a mistake that could end your judicial career." Judge Withers' fingers hovered over the gavel. But something in JD's voice, it cut deeper than any legal argument. "What is this?" the judge sneered. "A writ of habeas corpus," JD said calmly, "signed by a federal circuit judge this morning, overruling your sentence, effective immediately." Whispers exploded in the gallery. The judge grabbed the paper. His eyes scanned the bottom. His smirk vanished. The signature wasn't just any judge. It was Judge Elaine Morton, well-respected, senior, and indisputably higher in authority than him. His gavel-happy power trip had just been revoked. JD stepped closer. "You can ignore it," he said, "but then you'll be the one in contempt of federal court." The judge sat frozen, pale, furious. Finally, through clenched teeth, he muttered, "The defendant is free to go. To understand how we got here, you have to go back 2 weeks." Caroline had uncovered something disturbing. Judge Withers had a hidden connection to North Shield Energy, a powerful lobbying group threatened by JD's latest investigation into corporate fraud. Caroline, a former communications officer turned legal investigator, had been following the money. What she found was stunning: campaign donations, offshore accounts, and a private meeting at a Napa Valley estate, where Withers was present. She brought it all to JD. "He's compromised," she said. JD didn't argue. He prepared. They knew if Caroline testified, Withers would try to silence her. And they were right. But what the judge never counted on was that JD had already filed an emergency appeal, quietly, precisely. News broke within the hour. Judge overruled, live in court, Leavitt walks free. Clips of the courtroom began going viral. But that wasn't the real story. Within 24 hours, Caroline published a report linking Judge Withers to 3 other suspicious rulings involving North Shield. Within 48 hours, the Department of Justice opened a review of Withers' conduct. By the end of the week, he was suspended. And Caroline? She didn't go on TV. She didn't gloat. She walked out of the courtroom, gave a single statement, and returned to her investigation. "This isn't about winning a moment," she said. "It's about protecting justice from the people who think they own it."